Hi and welcome once again. Hey everybody, welcome to Drawanart. In this last episode of Portrait Drawing Lesson Series, you will learn a complete portrait study of how to draw a girl along with drawing clothes and blur background using a graphite powder. You can check out all of the materials that I have used in this video in the description down below. Also, if you get a value out of this content, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more regular content just like this. Anyways guys, without any further delay, let's finalize this portrait. As in the previous episode of this portrait series, we have learned to draw lips easily along with the realistic hair drawing. So now I'm going to complete the rest of the portrait in this final lesson. So first of all, I'm going to add some details in the necklace first. And then I'm going to start shading the neck area. So I'm just adding a base layer of shading everywhere and then just building up multiple layers where you can see the more shadows on either side. Then I'll moving back to the necklace details, which is a darker sides or the more shadowed and the highlights in the necklace to really make it look three-dimensional. So I'm using here a black pencil for making it more darker than the other areas of this portrait. So now it's time to work on a costume or clothes area of this portrait. So for the costume, I'm starting off with the 4B graphite pencil by Drawanart for sketching the basic drawing of clothes, and then I'll smoothen up everything with the tissue paper. Here is a pro tip, which is like the more you draw in shapes before the shading, the more your shading will be accurate. So now I'll add the base layer using the HB pencil to block out the main patterns of the costume that she is wearing on. So that's how slowly and gradually I'm going to build the base layer, kind of grainy, and then create the details along with that. And then I'll blend out everything with the blending stump all together. Also make sure that I'll keep the highlighted area remain unsaturated to really make it look natural. So while blocking out the base layer of shading a cloth or any fabric, make sure to shade in a direction where the fabric fold is going to be. So you can see the reference image for the shading accuracy and also to improve your shading, especially when you're shading something really three-dimensional. So that will give you an inspiration to work on your shading really well. So here I'm going to build up some of the darker values where they need to be. But while you are shading, don't be afraid to build up in layers, because once you apply the first layer and then you blend it out, it may not be dark enough yet to keep going in and building up your shading with the same pencil until it is dark enough. This is so important that we get the shadows as dark as they need to be. And same goes with the highlights. It's important that we get the soft transitional highlights as the soft and subtle as they need to be as well. So for now I'm focusing on the darker values, and then later on I'll identify where the highlights are going to be. So make sure to follow the reference image to really make your fabric look three-dimensional, and the shading should be very natural and flowy in the direction of the folds. So yes, in the end, make sure to blend out everything with the blending stump. So now I'm going to draw the remaining patterns of the jacket with the help of black pencil by Faber-Castell. So these shapes are kind of irregular one, and some are very obvious. And then I'll shade it with the black pencil by taking care of the values. So with the help of this filbert brush, I'm using this water as a blender over this black pencil, and this will help this black color really blend it very well. And then I'll repeat the same process all over this area of the jacket, just like this. Now sketch out the blurry background details. So for the background, I'm using this graphite powder with the help of dry brush. So I'm going to apply the graphite powder to the background by using this brush. The process is known as dry brush technique. Now to blend out everything even more, I'm using here the tissue paper for this. So I've wrapped a clean bit of tissue paper around my fingers, and tissue that doesn't have any patterns works the best. I'm using here an eraser to pull up some of the excessive graphite powder from the background to really adjust the blurriness of the background just by following the reference image. Now to darken up some of the areas in the background, I'm going in with the darker pencil, which is a 6B pencil by Drawanart, and I'll blend out these pencil strokes with the tissue paper to get rid of all the graininess in the background. Now as you can see that we have got a really nice base layer down already, and it's time to build up some of the more details in the background, like the darker values and some of the pop-up blurred circular highlights and some of the darker spots in the background you can see in the reference image as well. I'm also working on the soft transitional highlights in the background, and then I'll blend out with the tissue paper to really make it subtle. So I'm using here a Faber-Castell black pencil for even more darker shading or the values that you are adding in the background or any area of the portrait. So once again I'm going to build up a last layer, which is a layer of this black pencil over this graphite layer, and this time I'm using this pencil color in a circular motion to really have some of the little bit grainiest texture in the background, as I can see in the reference picture. So I'm using this interpretation. It's not like I'm following the reference image. I'm using this in my own personal interpretation that I feel like going in. So you can tweak up with the ideas that goes relatable with your drawing. So for the rest of the background, I'm again repeating the same process as I have applied the second layer of the 6B pencil by using random strokes, and then I'll blend out with the tissue paper. Now I'm going to add up some of the spots that I see in the reference image. So I'm just using this black pencil by Faber-Castell to glazing over the graphite to really make it even more darker. So in the last, I'm just finalizing this portrait with some of the last touch-ups. And if you haven't watched my related episodes of this portrait series, you can check out in the description down below, and make sure to tell me in the comment down below that what next do you want me to draw. I'm just analyzing the final highlight, which is the brighter one, using this pen corrector to really have some brighter highlights. This is almost done for today's video, and thank you so much guys for watching this video and supporting this portrait drawing lesson series. I hope that you have guys learned something from this, and if you get the value out of it, please make sure to tell me in the comment down below that what next do you want me to draw. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.